Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
After months of no action, tonight the city of Taylor is one step closer to opening recreational marijuana shops. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. City Council just passed the marijuana ordinance tonight, months after voters approved the measure last fall. Jacqueline Francis live in Taylor with what it'll look like. Jacqueline.
Hi, Devin and Kimberly. We can expect anywhere from 3 to 5 recreational marijuana shops to open up here in Taylor once they begin accepting applications this fall. It's a big step for the city after months, if not years, of debate. It's been a long time coming. Taylor residents applauding and waving their signs at Tuesday's city council meeting.
Motion passes 5-2.
The 5-2 vote passed the zoning ordinance, allowing recreational marijuana sales in the city of Taylor. But there was some pushback.
2 in Inkster, 2 in Lincoln Park, 8 in River Rouge. I overheard someone in the hallway saying, everywhere you turn, you see a pot store. And that is very, very sad for children, I think.
Especially when it came to the 2,500 feet rule, meaning the dispensaries could be no less than 2,500 feet away from one another and the protected areas like schools and churches. The council chair said they had to make some revisions.
Stating 2,500 feet would have meant that there were no parcels. So what we did is we used natural barriers, right? A freeway is a natural barrier.
Meaning a house or a school can be on one side of the freeway and a dispensary on the other, even if they're not 2,500 feet apart.
Feels great. We've been working on it for a very long time, and we've made some concessions, but we're on the right path.
The dispensaries can only open in approved industrial areas of the city.
Oh, it's not going to be on every corner. It's really not even going to be very visible. But the areas that we chose are going to be close to freeways, so it will be accessible for people to come to Taylor to purchase, but also for our residents not having to drive 5-10 miles.
Last November, 56% of Taylor voters said yes to recreational marijuana sales in the city. The clerk's office will begin accepting those applications October 1st. Reporting live in Taylor, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Keep watching communities trying to figure out the path forward in this, right, Jacqueline?
Fighting for a future for Selfridge. That's what Michigan's congressional delegation is working on, both parties in both houses, putting the pressure on the administration for a new fighter wing. Mara McDonald is live at the base tonight. Mara, Senator Peters was pushing the Secretary of the Air Force today.
Kimberly, that's right. But so far, both the Air Force as well as the administration have been really cagey about making any sort of promises for a new mission here. The only thing that truly is a certainty at this point is that the A-10 Warthog, which flies out of here, well, it's going away. The Air Force is doing away with the A-10 Warthogs. Originally, the estimate was at the end of the decade, but it's likely going to be sooner than that. So much so, both parties in both houses in Congress, as well as the governor, are putting all the pressure on Washington to assign a new fighter wing for Selfridge. Senator Peters sits on Armed Services, and the Secretary of the Air Force can't come in front of that committee without getting pushed on it.
As you're aware, Selfridge Air National Guard Base is home to A-10s that will be divested by the end of the decade with no replacement mission yet stated. You and I have spoken considerably about this issue, and will continue to do that in the future.
Over in the House, which is controlled by the GOP, John James is working all the angles, and that means fighters and more.
But we're not just talking about fighters. We're talking about the future as well. We're talking about hypersonic research. We're talking about cyber AI and being at the cutting edge. So not only are we talking about maintaining a fighter mission in Selfridge that's been there for over 100 years. Selfridge is a fighter Air National Guard base. It's a part of our DNA. It's a part of our culture in Macomb County.
Back here live, Governor Whitmer has pledged $100 million in upgrades to this area if the Air Force will sign on the dotted line for a new mission for Selfridge. We're live in Harrison Township tonight at the base. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
We'll keep watching it, Mara. Thank you.
The search is over tonight for the man suspected of killing 5 of his neighbors in Texas. The 38-year-old man arrested tonight following the shooting in the town near Houston. Investigators say the shooting began last Friday after neighbors confronted him about firing a gun in a yard late at night. One of the victims was a child.
Closer to home, police investigating after a body is found in the Detroit River. The discovery was made around 7 tonight near Belle Isle. Investigators say someone working in the area discovered that body. We're told it was a man. Police have not revealed a cause of death. State police searching new areas today in the disappearance of a Lenawee County woman.
This goes way back. Dee Warner, now way back. Dee Warner was last seen in April of 2021, so 2 years ago at her home near Tecumseh. The family tells us state police searched about 6 locations today, 2 of them fields near Warner's home. Her family says today's search was an unexpected event, but a surprise, and they're hoping that it brings a renewed interest to her case 2 years later.
An emotional roller coaster for the family, right? And that's the hardest part. I personally am kind of prepared for nothing out of this, but the family obviously gets up hope, right? Or gets very hopeful.
Hopeful, but police so far have not said whether they found anything in today's searches.
A man is badly burned and a DTE Energy worker is hurt after a house explosion in Inkster. It happened around 10 this morning at a house on Penn Street. A man was in the home at the time, but he was already outside when first responders got to the scene. Officials believe he was helped out of that house. He's recovering at U of M Hospital. The DTE worker suffered a minor injury. DTE says the cause of the explosion is under investigation.
An update now on a story we were telling you about at this time last night on Local 4 News at 11. Wayne State Police have cleared the officer who shot a dog in the mouth over the weekend after police body cam video shows the animal charging him while growling and barking. That dog survived the shooting. Chief Anthony Holt telling us while it's unfortunate the officer had to fire his weapon, after reviewing the tape and interviewing witnesses, the department has determined there was no other recourse. The last time Wayne State Police shot a dog was back in 1985.
A teenager is charged after a shooting at the Detroit Riverwalk. This all happened April 15th in the area of Rivard and Atwater. Investigators say the boy fired several shots at a man who was riding in a car. They say the shots missed the driver but hit 2 men nearby. The 16-year-old faces assault with intent to murder and weapons charges.
Detroit police release a person of interest in the murder of a Detroit neurosurgeon. Dr. Devon Hoover was shot and found wrapped in plastic in the attic of his home in the Boston Edison district on April 23rd. 5 days later, we reported a person of interest was taken into custody, but today that person was released. We know that person is a male, but was being held on unrelated charges, though police are confirming he remains under investigation despite being released. Wayne County prosecutors want additional things done in the investigation before signing off on a search warrant.
The State House approves a plan to ban non-hands-free cell phone use while driving. It's an effort to crack down on distracted driving, crashes, and deaths across the state. The bills passed 68-39 with increased Republican support after a change was made to penalties triggered by multiple offenses. Instead of having their driver's license suspended after a 3rd offense, the change would allow a driver to instead take a driver's education refresher course as a penalty for the 3rd offense. If passed through the Senate and signed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan would become the 26th state in the nation to adopt a hands-free driving law.